Hey there, everybody. We are back with another Misclicks D&D Devotion Director's Commentary. That's what we call this series. So, you don't need to have seen the previous Devotion Director's Commentaries to see this one. If this is the first one you've ever seen, that's fine. If you have no idea what we're about to do, we're going to be taking a look at an episode of Misclicks D&D Devotion that we've played through already and kind of take a look at what's going on in there. Give some commentary on decisions that we've made, whether they were right or wrong, and see how they pan out, and kind of just do a discussion of this episode and how it went. So, without further ado, let's start it. I'll do my best to kind of mute the show when I'm talking so that, you know, you don't get confused when there's two Neals talking all at once. So... hello everybody and welcome to episode 27 of Misclicks D&D. Okay, so let's just skip ahead for a little bit because there's just a lot of people talking about this, that, and the other thing. So we're just gonna skip some ways ahead until the game starts.
Laying off that plain Zelda, got a really
No, still talking about what we're doing.
At home.
But it's so much nicer in
Okay,
nature.
this is where we're gonna start here. They're still talking about what's going on, and the first thing I want to comment on is the background music. So let's listen to a bit. See a little Ransom problem spreading over to the real world here.
Of course!
Jen, save us from this drama. We're not ready for it yet. All right. So as we can hear there, we've got a sound, a musical track playing in the background. It's called Arab-esque. And our reason for choosing that particular sound here is because they're playing in Akuba, which is the Middle Eastern inspired region. It's not really Middle Eastern in climate. It's kind of more or less the same climate as everywhere else, maybe a little bit more arid, but it's certainly not Middle Eastern in what we would think of as Middle Eastern in climate. But we're taking some cues from Middle Eastern society for this region. So we're starting with a little bit of mood music to kind of get ourselves in the right mental state for exploring in this region.
So now I'm dead.
Fantastic. Did you say your team is now called the Frozen Throne or the Frozen Poe? All right, let's just skip ahead forward a little bit. Well, that sets the scene for last week then. Ooh. Hold on, let's hear that again. You're gonna hear this a few times actually. Listen. Well, that sets the scene for you hear those pops? Last week then. Those pops are a technical error. That is Olivia Jen sending me messages on Slack, updating me with her spells, and then just kind of sending extra information. I don't actually have a way of really muting that from the stream without muting my browser altogether. Perhaps there's a way to mute those sounds from Slack. Definitely. I don't know, but that's a problem that we have technically. Those weird sounds leak through.
What are we going to do? How are we going to get him out of jail?
Right. This is our scene. Ransom is in jail, and these people are all going to try and bust him out. Ransom is also in jail with his squire. Her name is Rhonda. She is of noble birth and has been assigned to these people to squire under Ransom so she can become a good fighter. And she stepped in and killed somebody who was trying to kidnap Ransom and then was arrested for murder because they're in a kingdom where her rank as a noble means nothing.
I'm looking at everybody.
And now we're transferring to town music.
I'm making out with Kellen.
We're transferring to town music because they're in the town. Ransom's getting arrested and Olivia and Kellen are just making out.
No,
Now, we could be setting some sort of mood music here. If we really wanted the party to be nervous, we could choose something a little bit more suspenseful or a little bit more horror-themed. If we wanted the party to be kind of ready to jump in a fight, we could have started off with combat music or something. But the choice of picking regular town music is to actually kind of make this scene seem a little mundane. And that's because I already have a plan for getting Ransom out of prison, right? Because the party can't really get him out of prison. They're just a bunch of random bards that are hanging out in town, and they're in the capital of a kingdom, and someone's been arrested for murder, and none of them are nobles. They have like a 0.0000% chance of getting anyone out of jail. So I already have figured a way to get Ransom out, because it's basically the only way. So we're kind of set in the mood to be regular.
My hair got mixed up in the kerfuffle. Can you fix it?
Of course, babe. I'll fix the hair for you.
Thank you.
What are we going to do? How are
Some
we
good
going
role
to get
playing
him
there
out?
between Olivia and
Look,
Kellen,
it
with Olivia
kinda seemed
actually
like he wanted to go to
pantomiming,
jail, so
fixing
I
the
don't know.
hair.
Will you
That's
just
good.
leave him there and move on?
Well, I
mean-
mean, that would be pretty efficient.
You guys!
Like,
this is
are you
supposed to be
sure you
bad.
still... Wait. Do you still want to get married to him? Because if not, this is your best escape route. It's the best.
And that comment right there, I mean, you can look at my face. That might work, you know? If they just leave Ransom in jail and take off, that solves the Kess Ransom problem that we've been having. We've been having Kess Ransom problems if you're new to this episode or this series. These two are dating, these two are dating, these two are siblings, female, male. So she's playing a female character, she's playing a male character, she's playing a female character, he's playing a male character, right? Elves, humans, dating, siblings is the connection going on here. And the option of actually leaving Ransom behind and continuing just to go on without him because Kess and Ransom are having relationship problems is something I'm afraid of. I don't want them to solve their problems that way because then there's not much of a story left. So I'm glad V doesn't take the bait, but
Right, sure.
it's still a possibility.
Well, actually, maybe they are. They probably are. So, like, what's going on here? They just took him?
They took him away in shackles along with Rhonda and the two other people, and they dragged the dead body away as well, leaving this like blood streak through the city streets.
Someone should really clean that up.
Always
I don't
observant,
know,
Jen.
Kess,
Love it.
He's your boyfriend. What do you think we should do?
I have no idea how to get somebody out of jail. We've never got caught for anything.
We never deserve to get caught for anything. We've never done anything bad.
But I mean,
You know what? We could probably get him exonerated if we just, like...
You know, for having English as a second language and often running into problems where she doesn't quite know what a word means, I'm impressed with her use of
then
exoneration.
why did they take Ransom away if it was Rhonda who killed him?
Because they're looking for his father. You know what? We should just get his father.
Boom. Here, let's listen to this again because the players are screwing something up from the get-go that's going to cause problems all episode long. It's actually kind of important. Listen again.
Yeah, but then why did they take Ransom away if it was Rhonda who killed him?
Because they're looking for his father. You know what?
Right there. She's about to say because they're looking for his father, and that is not true. The town guard is not looking for Ransom's father. The town guard is arresting everybody that was involved with somebody being murdered and sorting it out later, which, you know, in the modern world, you might just interview people and then arrest the person you think is guilty. At this point in time, they're just arresting everybody and hauling them all back to jail, and then they'll sort it out in jail. But I don't know if it's this comment right here or if the party was actually confused about what was going on, but we're going to see in the next half hour all sorts of fallout from the party thinking that the town guard wants Ransom's father for something. And maybe this is an area where we should have stepped in and said, remember, they're not looking for the father, they're just here to find a murderer. But it's one of those areas where it's difficult as a DM to decide whether to step in or not. I'm just going to let it play in the background because they're going to talk for a while. If we step in and say, no, the town guard's looking just for murderers, they don't know anything about Ransom's father being a wanted criminal in another kingdom, we're kind of... what do you say? We're kind of forcing the party down a certain path, but that's not true. How do we want to say this? I'm going to pause it, actually. If we correct their mistakes, we are setting them up in a situation so they'll always have their mistakes corrected, right? Like at some point, if the party makes a mistake, when they misremember something, we have to decide as the DM whether to step in or not. If we step in whenever they misremember something, then they don't really have to ever worry about remembering something, because if they misremember something, we'll just correct it for them. And it's really nice when the players make a mistake by misremembering something and then they get into trouble because of it. So it's difficult to determine when the right time to step in and say, no, 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 that's not what's going on. It's actually this other thing. Don't you remember? It's difficult to decide when to do that. Here, I let it slide and it causes problems. So maybe this is a spot where we should have stepped in. Then again, maybe the problems caused our fun? I don't know.
I'm not. Ish. I'm pretty good, actually. Right, babe?
Babe, you're amazing.
Perfect. So how about we find him instead?
Okay, well, I know exactly where he went, I think.
Yes, you do. He's hanging out in the splash.
Yeah, he went to the splash, so we can go get him in there. Should we offer the trade first, so that way, in case his dad tries to run, we can...
They're gonna trade Ransom's father for Ransom, but the guards don't want Ransom's father.
How about I go hang out with the dad to make sure he doesn't go anywhere? I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to just, you know, chit-chat with him. Meanwhile, you go talk to the guards that have Ransom and say that you have a lead on where the dad is, and, you know, you make them promise about the swippity-swappity.
Okay, let's see what I can do.
It's so cute how you say swippity-swappity. Makes my heart go pittery-pattery.
Kellen, can you help me on this?
Song.
Swippity-swappity, pittery-pattery. I'm writing it right now.
They are so adorable,
Kellen,
it makes me want to puke. But I really like it because they're doing good role playing. All right, so it looks like Kess and Kellen are gonna go keep an eye on Liam, while Olivia goes and tells the guards that she can trade Liam for Ransom. That's like our last point to cut in and say, by the way, they're not looking for Liam. They don't care about Liam, but we don't do it. Okay.
I can't see anything.
It's a great look.
I pictured a little more like spiky back here, but I just got it, so I haven't styled it.
So
we need to all get some, like, you know, hair.
We've also turned down the music because we're about to change scenes, and scene changes are best accompanied by a musical change too, or a background noise change too. Any attempt to like resist or break away from them? This track playing here is Catacombs.
I'm kind of relaxed a bit. It looks like they're dragging both the guards and the bounty hunters and myself, so I'm okay with this.
Okay.
The last thing I shouted was, I'm sure that justice will be served.
Yeah, and he is spot on. Justice will be served. If the party did absolutely nothing and said, guys, let's just let it play out, Ransom would be found innocent of the crime because there's tons of witnesses to it, and Rhonda would be found guilty of the crime and executed, and Ransom would be freed. Justice will be served.
Also got a sword and a bow, which they presumably took.
Yeah, they'll take your weapons and your backpack from you. The armor that you have, are you wearing the bronze chainmail or the steel chainmail?
Steel.
Was it steel? Oh.
I gave you the steel.
Yeah.
It's the gift from Alex Gilder.
Yeah.
Don't you dare lose it.
Oh, right there. That is why we asked that question. Let's roll back and listen to that again. Bronze chainmail or this? Whoops, a little back.
Also got a sword and a bow, which they presumably took.
Yeah, they'll have on you. This is the question we're looking for. Yeah.
I'm sure that justice will be served.
What gear do you have on you? Now, we're asking that question for exactly what Olivia's going to say in about 30 seconds, so listen close. And are you wearing your armor?
Yes, I'm wearing my chainmail. I've got a glaive, which they presumably took. Falchion also got a sword and a bow, which they presumably took.
Yeah, they'll take your weapons and your backpack from you. The armor that you have, are you wearing the bronze chainmail or the steel chainmail?
Steel.
Was it steel? Oh.
I gave you the steel.
Yeah.
It's the gift from Alex Gilder.
Right there. The whole reason we ask what armor are you wearing and what gear are you wearing and what are you carrying into prison, like partially it's good to set up that the guards are taking your equipment away from you. That's definitely something you want to set up every time someone goes to prison. The other reason we're setting that up is because we want them to remember Alex Gilder, because in a little bit, well, actually towards the end of this episode, we have something set up for that. It doesn't actually end up playing out the way that we thought it would, but we're trying to set up something, which I'll go into detail a little bit later.
Yeah.
Don't you dare lose it.
It's worth a small fortune. Okay. So you just get, disarmed. They take your armor off of you, assuring you, of course, that they're not going to steal any of your stuff. And recognizing the value of your steel chainmail, they take a careful moment to say, "We no steel chainmail. We not we honorable guards. We no take your gear."
Yeah, I trust you.
God, the accents. I need to work on them a little bit better. That's good though. Joke goes right over his head. Doesn't even get it. Good. Well, welcome to Sandashar Prison. I hope your stay is enjoyable. Yeah? You have private cell for man with steel chainmail. You must be
good. I hope it's very short.
Having the guards show Ransom preference in his accommodations because he's wearing steel chainmail is helping to show the class-based society that these people live in. The guy with the fancy rich armor gets his own cell. Good to remind characters of this. The only light helps bring the world to life. A little small window in the big door that leads into another room that has some windows in it, so there's just a little light coming in. It's really dark. Gotta let the players know the conditions that they're in. Dungeon, nice and dark. She has been put in another cell, like across the hallway from you. She also has been disarmed and armored.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to say to her yet?
Across the halls and I can see her, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's really dim, so you can kind of barely make her out, but if you could magically walk through the bars and then across the 5-foot hallway and then walk through her bars, you'd be in her cell.
Oh, she's directly across.
Directly across from you, yeah.
Rhonda, you okay?
I am. My female voices need work.
It would probably be going better for us if you didn't kill the guy.
Yes, you're right. I'm not used to the lack of privilege that comes with being in another country. Right? Because we already set up earlier that Ransom's getting special treatment for being rich. Rhonda should be getting special treatment for being a noble. In fact, she probably shouldn't even be arrested for killing a commoner when there's a violence breaking out, but she's in somebody else's kingdom, right? Because if she were in her own kingdom, where she's a noble and the niece of a very important noble, if a fight breaks out and she ends up killing one of the aggressors in a fight, she could probably get off with maybe a serious talking to, maybe pay out some blood money, maybe, there might be some problems for her, but she wouldn't really be going to jail. So this has twofold effect. One, kind of showing, again, class-based system, the world's unfair, it's unjust to the core. And the other reason, to show that Rhonda is, human. She makes mistakes. She's not some perfect NPC who always behaves properly all the time. She acted a little bit rashly because she's in a situation where she doesn't really belong, right? Or a situation that she's not familiar in. Even NPCs make mistakes. I think that's an important thing to show. It's just a difficult thing to show, NPCs making mistakes. So I really appreciate having the opportunity to have an NPC kill a person and then get arrested, saving a player character, and then be like, oh my god, I forgot I'm in another country and I'm not I don't have this privilege I normally have. So that was That's a nice little moment that I enjoyed.
So we'll let you get out of this. Anything we can do to help? It sounds like, and I would hate to see you get executed, but it sounds like you might be getting executed.
Well, I don't know anything about Akuba, really. I don't know how they handle that here. Yeah, see, she's way out of her depth. She's just like an 18-year-old squire assigned to this guy. So she doesn't know what's going on.
Yes.
That line about friends saving us is an attempt to... There we go. Exactly what Ransom's doing for us. That's an attempt to kind of get the story back onto the friends saving them. And Ransom, or Trump, does a really good job of playing that off, as we'll see again since we rewound.
I hope so. Let's cut to the friends.
Back to the friends. Kess and Kellen, you are making your way towards the... There should be a musical change coming.
You mean to the guards?
Oh, are you guys going to the guards? And
yeah.
Okay. There it is. Then let's do... There it is. It's going to the tavern. I want to do the tavern first. So the party's split up, right? We got Olivia going to the tavern, Ransom in jail, Kess and Kellen on the way to the jail. We can kind of tackle this in any order. We started with the 3 before they split, then flipped to Ransom in jail because he's definitely not going to get a lot of screen time being the guy in jail, so we wanted to at least check in with him a little bit. And now we're flipping over to Olivia. I don't exactly remember the reason why we picked the people going to the tavern before the people going to the guard. Oh, this is why. The people going to the guardhouse have the bigger responsibility. Their actions have a larger impact on the story. So we want to like take care of the smaller loose ends first before we like take care of the big story element. Because if we go and talk to the guys at the jail cell first, then when we flip back to Olivia, it seems to have a little bit less impact. So we build to the bigger actions by taking care of the smaller story things first. Olivia, you find yourself at the Splash.
Yep.
You look in, you can see Liam and Kalia are tucked away in a little corner of the Splash, looking very carefully back and forth at the doors, like waiting for bounty hunters to come in. They spot you and kind of give you like a gesture.
What's going on, guys? I sit down.
Shh.
What? Why are we whispering? Are you guys having an affair with someone else?
Don't be ridiculous, says Kalia. The bounty hunters are after Liam.
Well, I don't see any.
Well, don't. That's right. They're still worried because there's bounty hunters. The party might not give a shit, but the NPCs are still worried.
They went out drinking.
Where's Ransom?
He got into a fight.
Here we choose Kalia to talk instead of Liam because Liam's kind of the more relaxed, less responsible person. So we have Kalia do the talking as the more responsible NPC who we want to show off as... now, if we have to pick one of them to be like interacting and worried about how things are going to turn out and like making sure everything goes right and, you know, checking in with the players, it's going to be Kalia. So we pick her to have this conversation instead of Liam. And we don't like have them both have the conversation because it's always confusing when 2 NPCs are trying to talk to player characters at the same time.
She didn't notice.
Kalia drums her fingers on the table impatiently, while Liam is fairly
I tried
content
to
just...
her music with something else. I'm like...
I think that's a translation error because to drum your fingers doesn't mean to like drum them in a musical way. It just means to like tap your fingers. But I think there's a little lost in translation bit here. Yeah. And right now we're having a technical issue. Not right now that you're watching, but right now in the episode, we're having a technical issue where my USB port got knocked and it just screwed over all of my input devices. So we can just leave it be for a moment.
Yeah, it's up for me.
We're just gonna skip ahead. Moment when you see Guy coming down from the upstairs section and kind of just strolling into the room like nothing's like nothing's different. He comes on in and sees the three of you seated and goes, "Hey, Olivia." Guy's still super awkward around her.
Come sit down with us. We're waiting for the other two.
Sure. Things haven't been good between the two of them. But later in this episode, we're actually going to try and create a moment where Olivia gets the hots for Guy. We're trying to set that up. Based on the clues that Olivia has been dropping in the previous episodes. If you watch the last two directors' commentaries on Misclicks, you'll see how that all is getting set up here. So let's, introduce Guy to Olivia. We would introduce him to whoever was here, but it's especially meaningful because it's Olivia and because what's going to happen in, I don't know, about half an hour or an hour. What about Kellen?
Yeah, they're coming in like a couple minutes.
Oh, well, where's Ransom, man?
Oh, he got into a fist fight. He's in prison for the night, but I'm sure we'll get him back tomorrow,
Oh, shit. Big thing here is that Guy's asking after Kellen, because, Guy's into Kellen, but whatever. Actually. It's a minor point, but it's good that Guy expresses his interest in Kellen still. Go to jail.
Not really. But he got really passionate in the moment. He was fighting someone for the honor of Cass, It's kind of romantic, really.
Yeah, that's pretty romantic, I guess. Trying to do the, artist thing with the brushing of the hair and, playing with the hair to try and, make Guy be that, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Beach Boy artist sort of guy.
What about fighting for loving?
I'll challenge you to a musical battle or, I'll break you out of jail, but, fighting's right there. I'll break you out of jail. We could have phrased that in any number of ways, but we specifically said, I'll break you out of jail because it could be taken as he would break Olivia out of jail. It doesn't have to be that way, and that's not the way that he means it. But allowing that as a possible interpretation of his words is slightly flirty, which is now what we're trying to do. We're trying to get Olivia to have the hots for Guy. So we're trying to get Olivia to see Guy as flirting with her. So that actually is a very intentional choice of words. Battle, or, I'll break you out of jail, but... fighting's not.
You'd break me out of jail?
And it's a figure of speech, man. What's with the what's with the third degree, man? Come on, just And then he overreacts to the question of oh, you'd break me personally out of jail. If he had just been brushed it off as nothing, then the impact of the flirting would have just vanished. But now he's being super defensive, whoa, man, what's with the third degree? Come on, it's not that big of a deal. What are you doing? That's him being a little defensive, hopefully kind of, that's how he was acting when Olivia was asking if he was into Kellen, and now that's how he's acting when she's like, would you break me out of jail? So hopefully, and I don't know if it works or not, only Olivia would know, or only Jen would know, but hopefully that's kind of incepting into her a little bit that he might be possibly into her, even though he's totally not.
Would you break Kellen out of jail?
Hey, what's with all the questions? I'm gonna go get a drink. Perfect excuse. I'm gonna go to drink. Lets him leave the situation. We don't want to keep talking about this. We don't want to delve too deeply into this, so we just get Guy out of there. We had our little flirty, and now we're done. What are you guys up to? All right, we're switching to Kess and Kellen.
Is seriously helping me stay in character right now.
Nice.
I'm just following Kellen or Kess, and I'm
music change.
Can I just tell you something's kind of bothering me?
Back to town, because they're just cruising around the town.
You're muted, your mouth is moving, but I feel you're not really saying much.
I was working on my telekinesis. Did you get it?
Oh, good job, Kess. That was spot on. Well done.
No, I think that's broken.
Okay, well, what is it, Kellen?
I just, look, I am most concerned that you have what you want in life, and
bombs are about to drop.
You different from what you think is best, but I'm just feeling like maybe Ransom doesn't get you. You know what I mean? Like, I've just been.
What is he saying?
Picking up what you're putting down a lot of times, you know? And I just want you happy, and I just feel like I see you unhappy.
Is she saying you should leave Ransom?
I'm unhappy right now, but I mean, I think it's humans in general don't get us as much. I mean, there's even times that you and Olivia don't get each other.
This is the first time we see Cass be like, I don't think humans get us. She's gonna bust out with some racism later on, but this is the first we see of like semi-racist Cass.
I mean,
although to be honest, this is kind of a side note here. Racism in D&D terms is very different than like racism in human terms, where we're all the same species, but we have like different races. Whereas in D&D, you actually have completely different species. And I think it's acceptable to, you know, value people differently based on a species difference rather than a tone difference or a hair color difference or a, you know, a skin tone difference or a vocal difference, right? It's way easier to be like, I'm sorry, my species lives 1,000 years. You guys live at most 100 years. Like, come on, we're on a different level of playing field, right? Like, we treat ants very differently. We treat elephants very differently. We treat dolphins very differently. I think it's pretty legit to have like human versus elf racism that is not like morally wrong. I think it's actually quite acceptable to have that sort of like my species is better than your species battle. I mean, that's what most of like sci-fi is built on as well.
That maybe used to be true, but have you seen the art she's making? It's like we're connecting on like a spiritual level. It's like my art and her art intertwined in like this divine lovemaking. It's like the most spiritual thing I have ever been a part of.
Makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
But it's so damn cute.
Do you guys connect? Like, how do you
look
like,
how happy Jen is?
Like, I know you liked sunsets together. Like, have you seen any sunsets lately, or like?
No, we haven't done anything together.
But that's pretty much all they've ever had together is watching sunsets. They've had like a solid relationship for a long time, but based on nothing. Their characters have like no commonalities, which I think is probably why their breaking up argument has gone on for so long and been so dramatic, is they actually don't have anything to fall back on. Whereas whereas Kellen and Olivia totally have like, we're both flirty and shallow people, and I'm just into you because you're an artist, and I'm just into you because you're like a cute girl who's into me. Like, you know, this is some sort of superficial interest, but at least there's some interest here. Kess and Ransom actually have no backbone to their relationship whatsoever. They're just like in love, quotes, without actually understanding why.
I appreciate that. I would love more support.
But look, there are certain things that I can't take care of for you as your brother, and I just want to make sure those things are taken care of.
Well, I would be lying to say that they are taken care of right now, of course.
What is she saying? Let's roll back a little bit here.
Madly obsessed in love, and I'm just, you know, so distracted by that. And so I'm sorry. I need to do a better job of being a better brother. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. I would love more support.
But look, there are certain things that I can't take care of for you as your brother. And I just want to make sure those things are taken care of.
Well,
what is he getting at here?
Taken care of right now, of course, because obviously the state of things. But I don't know what to do. I mean,
I'm just saying right now you have some forced time apart. Yeah, we don't want to let Ransom like rot in jail or anything, but it's worth thinking about what you want, you know?
Well, Ransom always did make me happy. It's just he's not understanding of things lately. And his dad being around is the worst thing for him. His dad is like the worst influence ever on anybody, even on Mother.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan.
No, I'm not a fan at all. He's absolutely ridiculous. And I want him out of our life.
So let's do that. Let's get Ransom.
She's gonna get exactly what she wants later.
Okay, let's do that. Okay.
Right, let's go, sis. And I link arms with her. We're casting Kellen again.
You guys make your way to the keep where the dungeons are, where they are holding the prisoners. Now we have, well, hold on, never mind. There's a pair of guards on duty and a couple up higher on the wall, but the two at the base stop. So we don't actually give a shit how the party gets to the dungeon. The core scene is the party talking to the dungeon guard. But it is important that we show the party getting through to the dungeon guard, right? Because we don't really care how they do it. But we need to set up that there are things but like you can't just walk in and talk to the dungeon guard. We need to establish and constantly reinforce that the PCs can't just go wherever they want and do whatever they want and talk to whoever they want. So even though we make it really, really easy for them to get there, it's still important that we establish you come to the keep. There's a wall, there's guards on the gate, and there's guards on the wall above you. We have to keep establishing this. If we just say, yeah, you walk to the dungeon and you go and talk to the guy, and then later the party's like, let's break him out of jail, and then you're like, okay, well, here's the castle, and the dungeon's inside the castle, and blah, 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 blah. And then the party's gonna be like, what? We just walked there last time and it wasn't a problem. And then you're like, well, you know, it's because you had a reason, and I just like glossed over you talking to the guards and talking, you know, getting into the dungeon because it seemed like it would be easy and not such a big deal. So we just like glossed over those details and got you there. So that's why we bother to say you come to the keep. There's guards on the wall, there's guards on the gate. This is the situation. Even though we blaze through it really quickly, it's still important to remind the players of this sort of thing. Stop and immediately start babbling at you in a Kuban. It's also good to remind them that they're in a foreign land and they don't speak the language, and a lot of people don't speak their language.
I speak a Kuban.
You do?
I'm pretty sure.
She does. We figure it out. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, because I was like, the explanation. You can help us with taking the real culprit of a crime into jail and letting an innocent man go free.
You have information regarding a crime?
Yes.
Right this way, please. And they lead you to the actual dungeon itself, which is like a subunit in the main courtyard of the keep. We're establishing that it's inside the main courtyard, that they need to get guard permission to get in there. We're kind of giving it a place and a name and giving it some sort of description so it doesn't seem like it's an easily accessible building, because why should the dungeons be easily accessible? That's ridiculous. Or the city die away, and you are left in this room. Scene change, music change. You were soon joined by the captain of the guard there.
Captain.
Gives you a nod. Music? What do you have for us?
You have wrongfully taken our friend into custody when we know the actual perpetrator of a crime for which he is accused, and we take issue with this.
And I just nod my head.
Yeah, it's all, you don't understand a word that's being said. He goes, and the crime that's been committed, as well as the innocent party and the guilty party you can point us to? This track is a new one. It is the like Antiquian study or something like that. There's actually a problem. You can hear like a double tick. You hear it ta-da. It's only supposed to be a single ticking of a clock. So I think we're having a technical issue where we're getting multiple audio sources to play back all at once or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but there should not be a double tick. It should be a single tick.
I'm looking at Cass and I'm like,
that makes every sound have an echo to it, which is terrible. And if I knew it was echoing, I would have fixed it.
Liam, right, in the bar. Yes?
Excuse me? Let's roll back. We probably actually should have listened to everything Kellen had to say.
We hear that it's about the...
Let's roll back more.
Issue with that?
A little bit more.
Captain.
Gives you a nod. What do you have for us?
You have wrongfully taken our friend into custody when we know the actual perpetrator of a crime for which he is accused, and we take issue with this.
Kellen is correct, but irrelevant. They know Liam has committed a crime in another kingdom, which is not a crime here. In fact, would probably be welcomed here because it's helping to destabilize another kingdom altogether.
And I just nod my head.
Yeah, it's all, you don't understand a word that's being said. He goes, and the crime that's been committed, as well as the innocent party and the guilty party you can point us to?
We hear that it's about I'm looking at Kess and I'm like, I say in Elvish, like the wrongful death perpetrated by
Liam?
Liam, right, in the bar. Yes.
Excuse me?
Sorry, yes.
This is a really good play right here, where Kellen and Kess and Kellen are talking in Elvish, and then I have the guard butt in. Well, first off, Kellen and the guard are talking in a Cuban, and Kess is like, I don't know what's going on. And she actually plays it off like, yeah, I just nod, I don't know what's being said. And then they have their conversation, and then the guard butts in. And even though we're using English to communicate, we still do a really good job of showing that Kellen and the guard are speaking one language, while Kess and Kellen are speaking another language. And I'm very pleased with how that played out. It could get really confusing when you're using English, but then saying you're speaking in different languages back and forth a lot. So this goes well.
The wrongful death that took place.
You don't want to tell him where he is yet until they agree to let
the murder earlier today.
What?
The murder earlier today outside the tavern?
Yes, the murder, yes.
We're throwing him a bone and telling him where it is because they don't remember where it is. But it's not looking good for them if they can't even remember where the murder is.
And you have Ransom and Rhonda in custody. We know who really did it.
So now it seems like they're trying to frame Liam, even though he was uninvolved.
We were there.
Interesting. We have a few other witnesses that can corroborate the lady's part of this.
Are you sure?
Why don't you tell me what you saw? Please, have a seat. He takes a seat as well.
I'm gonna translate for my sister here because she was right in the action and she saw things more clearly even than me. So I say in Elvish, okay, I'm translating for you. What do you want him to know?
That Ransom didn't do anything and that...
That's well done by Kellen, saying, I'm translating for you now. I'm going to translate back and forth. I appreciate that.
The bounty hunters were after the father of Ransom, and we know where his father is.
Okay.
Their story's kind of falling apart now. Let's listen to that again.
That Ransom didn't do anything, and that the bounty hunters were after the father of Ransom, and we know where his father is.
So Kellen says Liam killed the people, and then Kess is all, the bounty hunters were after Liam, and we know where Liam is. Their story has two different tones now, and it's trying to say two different things.
Okay, so the guy that you have in custody, it was actually his dad that was doing all this, and all these bounty hunters were actually looking for him, and he just got mixed up in it because his dad's a total loser.
And I'm kind of confused because I have no idea. She just messed that up so badly. I have no idea what she was trying to say. I'm sorry, I didn't follow that in the slightest. Who is he? I didn't follow it in the slightest a second time through.
Liam.
No, but like...
The bounty hunters were after him.
The bounty hunters were after Liam.
Okay, so what? I'm not concerned about the bounty hunters and their quarry. That it has no bearing here. In fact, they're not even licensed to catch bounties in our kingdom. The whole lot of them are going to be deported.
But they're the ones that attacked Ransom.
The bounty hunters are the ones that attacked our friend Ransom? That's why it's of concern.
Right. We don't care about that. We care about the girl that killed one of the bounty hunters.
We care about people in your town who try to attack our friends.
That's fine. The matter on the table concerns the murder that took place, not the illegal bounty hunters. The illegal bounty hunters are being deported, and if your friend is not involved in the murder, he will be set free, but we must first consult witnesses and hold a trial. All right, so now we're telling them that we don't give a shit about your stupid bounty hunter plot or Liam. That's not important to what the town guard here is saying. We're also saying you don't have to worry about it. If you want to just stick around for long enough, Ransom will get off on his own if you don't mind staying in town, right? That's what there needs to be a trial and everything was all about.
Who try to attack our friends.
That's fine. The matter on the table concerns the murder that took place, not the illegal bounty hunters. The illegal bounty hunters are being deported, and if your friend is not involved in the murder, he will be set free, but we must first consult witnesses and hold a trial.
Well, we're witnesses and you're consulting us right now.
I appreciate that. Will you be sticking around town for some time so we can call you to the court on the day of the trial?
I asked Kess. Are we sticking around to go to Ransom's trial?
We want to get out of here. We're just trying to leave.
Look, we're just trying to leave this town where our friend almost died and then got arrested because you guys kind of are not really enforcing a legal system that we feel like we should be a part of.
You're going to the capital city, talking to the head of the dungeons, and complaining about the legal system, hoping it gets you somewhere in a feudal system where you are a foreigner of a race that is slightly looked down upon and not a citizen? Yeah, that's gonna go well.
Hashtag not my legal system.
Hashtag not their problem. Thankfully, you are not citizens of Akuba. You are foreigners, and you are free to leave whenever you like. But I think this meeting is done. He stands up from his table and walks over to the front door and opens it for you. He's a polite man. He's not an asshole guard. He's just being firm about his job.
We don't even get to roll like a persuasion check or anything?
Or what?
I start weeping.
Yeah, like that's gonna work on a jailer.
Persuasion.
No. No, because you got he doesn't care. Like Liam's father is not Ransom's father, Liam, like doesn't matter to him. He only cares about the murder that happened.
That's what I told him, that Liam perpetuated the murder, that Liam's the person who killed him.
You said she did, and I kind of want to let her roll things. I hate telling players that can't happen. I hate giving a hard no, but at the same time, like, her story was so full of holes, it might as well have been a sieve. So I have a hard time even allowing a roll. Said that Liam was the one who did the actual killing? I must have missed that in the conversation. Okay.
Well, I say it now. Do you not understand that I'm telling you we saw Liam murder the dude?
Well then, I would appreciate you bringing us to this Liam fellow so we can arrest him as well. Perfect. That's my escape from like, oh, maybe there should be a roll, maybe not. The player's really wanting a roll. The player's wanting to like talk her friend out of this. And so the solution is to be like, okay, there's an actual murderer. Let's go see the actual murderer and solve the problem.
We would love to do that, but we don't feel equipped to do so without our friend Ransom.
I could have handled this better. You want me to let a prisoner go in exchange for a potential other prisoner only on your word? Which is a ridiculous notion, but maybe the right way to handle that would be to say, oh, don't worry about it. I'll bring 10 of my best men with me and we'll go apprehend this murderer right now. And if he's actually the murderer, then we'll let your friend go right away. That would probably have been the better way to deal with that.
Yep. Persuade.
I should just be more firm and not feel so upset about saying no, but this is one of those times where you say, absolutely not! He eyes you very suspiciously. Give me... God. What do I even ask
sing
for
him a
at this point?
tune of a lad I once knew.
All right, give me your charisma check versus something of his. I don't even know what check to let him roll. Let's see what I can dig up for him in terms of stats.
Oh my gosh, how did I ever have hair like this? I cannot see.
It's a very good roll.
It's a very artistic hair.
I had these bangs and I only ever saw out of this eye and I lived like that for so long. How did I do that? Who are we?
Right. He sighs heavily and says, all right, I can't promise to let your friend go until the whole matter is settled. But if you can bring me this other prisoner and we can sort it out and we can get a quick confession out of this, I can get him released as soon as that's done. If you found the right guy, maybe we can get a confession out of him and make this go away. That's just saying to the players, I don't want to play this, you know, you can get a persuasion check. All right, if you can get him to confess, we'll just deal with it. You don't have to bring us to him. We won't insist that we come after this guy right now. We're not going to follow you. We're not going to, you know, push this matter any further, but you can solve this if you can get Liam to confess to the crime. This is actually, I think, one of the weaker lore moments that we serve here. But like, I just felt like Kellen, Anna, was getting frustrated with this situation, and I wanted to move on to something that would be a little bit more interesting to the plot, because we already have a mechanism to get Ransom out of jail. We know what they're trying to do right now isn't going to work, so we're just trying to, like, sure, if you can get him to confess, then that's fine, we'll move on. Let's just get away from the scene because it's not going anywhere, and it's going to be frustrating to everyone involved because you're trying to do something impossible and you're doing it poorly.
I doubt that this scumbag's gonna confess, but I guess if what we have to do is bring him to you, then...
Bring him here,
what we
get a
gotta do.
confession out of him, and any innocent parties can be freed immediately. There's just the small matter of the bloody sword that was found in the woman's hand, so...
Look, anybody can pick up a...
Yeah, Ransom's like cracking up because of course Rhonda did it. It's super obvious Rhonda did it. She had a bloody sword, like she stabbed a person. A whole bunch of people saw it. And then she had the bloody sword in her hand when she, you know, it's just like, of course Rhonda. There's no one believes it's anyone other than Rhonda.
a bloody sword, okay?
There's just the small matter of the bloody sword that was found in the woman's hand, so...
Look, anybody can pick up a bloody sword, okay? Like, look at me. Oh, look at this bloody sword. I picked it up.
Trying to persuade so hard. Would make a terrible detective. Just letting you know, please do not consider that as a career option.
Thank
but
you.
we
I take
accept
that as a
all
compliment.
suspects.
I'm an artist, so my talents would be pretty wasted as a detective, no offense.
Your towns would be wasted indeed.
Thanks. All right, sorry, Kess. I guess this guy isn't interested in the truth right now, so we're gonna have to, you know, execute the law on our own.
What?
Right. The weird sound. Where do you guys go?
How are we going to bring him? So we have to bring him, Liam. Mom's never gonna let us bring him.
He won't let us, but sounds like it's time for some good old-fashioned...
Yeah, your plan's not gonna work.
Oh, yes! To step in.
It is a difficult thing when your players come up with a plan so terrible it has absolutely no chance of working. Because it's really awkward and uncomfortable to say to your players, your plan is stupid, it's dumb, and it's not gonna work. Which is what we're dealing with here. And I think that just happens sometimes. Everyone comes up with bad plans. I come up with bad plans with my characters in Dicing with Death all the time. And it's one of those things that's difficult to communicate, where the players might think it's gonna work, but the DM's like, that's definitely not gonna work. And it's one of those awkward areas that we come across.
Son's in danger unless you come with us now.
I thought he just got in a little fist fight. So we're back in the tavern, so we put the tavern music on.
No, of course not. It's because of you he's in this mess, and you need to come right now.
I didn't do anything. What's going on?
Yes, you did.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on? He's sounding a little like Guy.
Hey, and I grab his arm and start bringing him with us.
He tries to break free. If you want to force him, you're going to have to make an opposed strength check.
I oppose him.
All right.
So what do I have to roll? A d20 plus strength?
Yeah, and you want to beat his roll of 12 and 11. You want to beat a 23. Oh, yeah.
Oh, burn! I am mad with anger.
You just start dragging him out of the bar. Like, I should probably ask her how, like, to describe her dragging him out at this point. And his other son comes over and goes, "Hey, get your hands off my dad."
I push him away.
All right, we need to roll for initiative. You guys are breaking into a full-fledged bar fight, apparently. So they're getting into a bar fight in order to get their friend out of jail for being involved in a street fight where people got killed.
Down.
I don't have... All right. So give me a D10 for initiative. Is anyone else joining in on this battle? Let them all join if they want.
Probably.
All right, well, let me know which round you want to join in on.
Yeah. Sure. No, I'll do something.
Not going very quickly. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was just picking.
Here's my solidarity roll from prison.
Love the solidarity roll. What are you doing, Anna? Or not Anna, Olivia?
Let me see.
She always takes so long to figure out her initiative. Half of all combat is waiting for Olivia to roll initiative.
No, if you all get thrown into prison, we can just live out the rest of our campaign in prison.
That's actually kind of a fun idea.
I laughed and I got
Oh
way
my
here.
god, it would actually be interesting. It'd be like, you know, Orange
This
is the
looks
New
D&D
Black or
prison.
edition. The one show where they never leave this one place.
So we have a lot on
Wait.
sets.
I knew what I wanted to do, but I forgot. Okay, wait. I know what it is. So I'm trying.
Oh my god.
I know I'm struggling. I don't
Every
remember how to write my
time.
spells.
Every time, Olivia.
Wait, I should get it soon. It's a level 2 spell. Okay, I got it. It's +1.
Don't mess with me. We have to go save Ransom.
Okay, I got it.
All right, Kellen, you are first up. What are you doing?
I am fighting to incapacitate, not kill. But
I appreciate that.
I'm daggers out. I'm melee daggering out. I'm going.
All right, so somebody got killed in a street fight. Now they're getting into a bar fight and she's pulling out weapons. She does say incapacitate, not kill, but she's still drawing weapons against her sister's boyfriend's brother?
Going for Liam.
So you draw weapons and
Liam
you
or
attack
Liam?
Liam.
Well,
Or Neeson, I mean.
is Neeson more threatening to us right now?
Yeah,
They're
because I'm
both-
dragging Liam.
Okay,
They're,
then
yeah, they're both unarmed and they're both trying to free Liam.
well, then I'm gonna. Can I tell me if I can do this, Neal? I don't know if mechanically it works. Can I help Kess drag Liam while menacing Neeson with my dagger, like hold actioning the attack while just kind of aiding?
I think you kind of have to commit to either fighting Neeson or helping Liam. Otherwise, you're doing like each at half capacity. And you would be like not very effective at both of them, you know? Like,
Okay, then how about can I defend Kess as she pulls Liam?
definitely. So you can like move to, so Neeson's coming across the room and you
Right.
like step in the way to defend your sister.
Yeah, and like defend her action of pulling Liam. So
Right.
if Neeson tries to grab Liam, I'm still
Definitely. Perfect.
menacing him with my dagger.
Perfect. Kess, it's your turn. You've got. Tell me, how are you grabbing onto Liam? Or is it just his hand? Do you have him by the lapels? Like, what grip do you have on him?
I have him by. I'm kind of dragging him from the backside. Like I have I've bunched up like his shirt or something. Yeah, and I'm dragging him. Like his feet are dragging.
Okay, so he's like flailing on the ground trying to drag. It's your turn. So we've really descended into an odd situation here. We're 42 minutes into this episode. Granted, a good portion of that was like pre-game talking. But we're in a situation where the party's fighting themselves in order to bust somebody out of jail that doesn't really need to get busted out of jail because he's innocent, and they're not trying to get Rhonda out, they're just trying to get Ransom out, so they could just wait for him to get out. And we do have our own way of getting him out that we didn't bring up before this point, but things have kind of gotten off track. Everything that's going on is like interesting character development wise, with Kellen and Kess being really excited to throw Liam under the bus and get him to go to jail. But it's also not very useful story-wise, because they're not really getting anywhere. And they're kind of just getting themselves in trouble. Off and comes up like right next to Kellen, realizing he's got to go through Kellen to get to Liam. And gives one look at you and goes, "Get out of my way." Kellen.
Well,
get out of my way.
I'm like I said, I'm holding action with my dagger, so if he attacks me,
Right. So
but I'm not gonna like stab him for words.
Right. So he he demands that you get out of the way, and when you don't, he goes to throw a punch at you, which you can.
But that'd activate my hold action.
Yes, it would. So you can make me your held attacks. You're trying to not stab him, right? You're doing like non-lethal damage.
I am gonna stab him. I'm just trying. I'm not like, I can stab to incapacitate, right? Like I can take him down to.
Do you see Trump's reaction?
Hold action.
Yes, it would. So you can make me your held attacks. You're trying to not stab him, right? You're doing like non-lethal damage.
I am gonna stab him. I'm just trying. I'm not like, I can stab to incapacitate, right? Like I can take him down to 0.
Wait, you're stabbing to incapacitate? Think about how that works for a moment.
This is a D&D rule.
You can hit him from behind.
You can use
hit him with the back of the dagger.
The pommel of the dagger instead of using the pointy end to like try and knock him out. But if you stab him with the pointy end, you could kill him. Like you're.
I mean, by logic, that's true.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a non-lethal blow, yeah, this is where we run into some of the problems of D&D, where you can just like make non-lethal attacks by using the pommel of the dagger, and it's non-lethal damage. But then when I hit you with my mace, it's lethal damage. The idea of subduing a person without killing them is actually a pretty difficult thing, and we try and pass it off as fairly easy here. What bonuses are? What often tries to get passed off in D&D is fairly easy because it's a really cool plot device to be able to knock somebody out without killing them. So we struggle with that. Typical Anna on Misclicks fashion, you tumble to the ground and like spill your daggers on the floor.
Look, everyone's like, no, Anna, when you average it out, dice rolls really do end up fair. They do,
they really do.
And then you watch Misclicks for 4 years and you tally up all my rolls and you tell me.
It's just confirmation bias. It's totally fine. Your rolls are totally average. Don't even worry about it. So Neeson just kind of walks over you and goes to intercept Kess.
I'm like,
Yeah. He goes to throw a punch at Kess and like break her grip of Liam. And his punch is a 14 to hit. I think that's a hit on you, Kess. What's your armor class?
13.
Yeah. So it's not a strong blow. It's only 2 points of temporary damage that'll go away after the battle's over. But it's I felt like I was being a little gentle there. I didn't need to be so coddling. Like, it's only 2 damage and it's gonna go away after the end of the battle. Like, I'm trying to show that Neeson's not trying to kill Kess, but I felt like that was a little too gentle. Like, stop you, and like he's now engaging with you and you can't make it out of the bar. The rest of the bar starts making a lot of noise. Things start getting picked up. The bartender starts calling for the battle to go down. You see the bouncer coming from the door over towards where you guys are, and it's Olivia's turn.
So I'm gonna get close to the dad, Liam, and I'm gonna tell him, hey guys, especially you, Liam, now is the time to follow me. And then I cast command follow.
She's gotten very good with her command spells.
You know, just like adding some context to screaming follow.
Sure. Really appreciate that extra context. Good job, Jen. Throw, which he fails, and he kind of gets to his feet and goes, yeah, let's get the hell away from Kess. She's fucking crazy. I wouldn't want to marry her either.
Dang.
Trying to imply that Ransom has told Liam that he's not into Kess. Might be hitting home? I'm not sure. Look at that face. It's a weird face. That's kind of an alien face. And as the bouncers are closing in from the door and the bartender's yelling and people are backing away, Guy comes like into the middle of you guys and goes, guys, like, stop. I can get him out. We have a plan to get him out. Your plan is a bad plan. Let me save you from your own bad plan. Maybe we shouldn't have had a plan to get Ransom out with Guy. Maybe that's a bad idea on its own, but it's...
How?
Just stop. They're gonna arrest us all. Like, you guys, you just put your weapons down. You're fighting in a bar, and Ransom just got arrested for fighting. I mean, granted, someone died that time, but you've drawn weapons and you're in the middle of a big bar brawl. What the hell? Calm down. I got a plan.
I put my weapons down. I mean, I didn't have my weapons out, so I didn't do anything.
And I just screamed command follow, so I kind of got one of them out of there.
Yeah, you've got Liam. He's trying to follow you, but I think Kess still has like a grab on him.
I let go of my grab.
Okay. Neeson takes a step back.
You know, and I'm like grabbing him by the, by the neck, like, hey, we're leaving together. This is fun. Aren't you charmed by the whole moment and situation we're having together?
So
following me.
Neeson steps down. Kess steps down. Kellen, you can get to your feet. You've dropped your daggers, but what are you going to retrieve them? Are you just going to stand up? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to retrieve them.
Okay. Are you still leaving with Liam right now, Olivia?
Yeah. Trying to like exit the bar and get in the street.
Okay.
And I told everyone to follow me.
Right. So the bounty hunter, not the bounty hunters, the bouncers interrupt you on your way out. You've got like Liam around the neck and the bouncers are coming over. One comes to you. So this is something I don't do nearly enough, is mention the bouncers in a bar, because people get into bar fights and it's very common to have bouncers in bars, especially if people can walk around wearing weapons. It's nice to have bar bouncers to solve problems like this. I should include bouncers in all of my bars and I'd forget to, but I'm really happy that I figured it out here, because it's very useful. Guy call from behind you, Olivia, like, bring him back, put him down, don't cause any trouble.
I'm stopping this bar fight. It must end now. Please let us escape.
Well, I just stopped it.
No, I'm stopping it. Come, Liam, let's leave this place.
Oh, she's making me
killing me. The bouncer just kind of sticks his belly in front of you and goes, let him go, girl.
I'm not doing anything. We're just
leaving. Have the poor man in a headlock. Let him go. We don't support violence in this institute.
Like, hold his arm instead.
Institute? Establishment?
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't.
The bouncer looks to Liam and goes, are you okay, sir? And Liam's like, yeah, I'm just following the girl. It's okay, man. That's not Liam. Yeah, I'm just following the girl. It's cool.
We have a good relationship, don't we?
You know, I think it's bound to get better after this.
Of course it is.
Certainly couldn't get any worse. And I think the two of you step outside while Guy slowly like gets the rest of you around and goes, guys, like, I think I can get.
How?
I think I can get Ransom out of prison.
How?
So Ransom's in jail. He's just chilling, having a good time. Olivia's kind of got this thing where she's leading this person and she's kind of going off with him. And it looks to me, just by the way that their body language has been during the last 10 minutes, that these two are kind of frustrated with what's going on. In fact, generally speaking, I get a really frustrated feeling of my players right now. And I think that's because the things that they have been trying haven't been working. And I've been kind of putting a stop to their efforts because I don't think they would work. And that's really frustrating from a player when you try something and you really try and your DM just shuts you down. And even if your idea is ridiculous, it's still frustrating as a player to be like, well, fuck, you know, I tried this and now it's all just collapsing around me. It's not working. Crap. What am I gonna do now? And it's a frustrating scene. Dude, like, my father is an attorney back in Dawngate. Like, he tried to make me be an attorney too, but like, I wouldn't want to do it. I wanted to be a musician. And so, like, see this frustration over here? Introducing Guy as kind of like a Deus Ex, don't worry, my dad's an attorney moment is kind of like, oh, great. So, you know, we were doing all this shit and all of a sudden the DM's like, oh, this is the solution to the problem. You were just going to solve it for me the whole time is not a great scene. Maybe we should have stepped in earlier and said, Guy has a way to get them free, but we didn't actually have an option to do that. And they started this really ridiculous plan. And there's not really, this is one of those moments where nobody is at fault for the frustration. The players had one idea, the DM had another idea. Their two ideas were mutually exclusive. The DM didn't think the player's idea would work in the slightest, and the players didn't even know about the DM's idea until they had finished their plan and it failed. So we've kind of like, through nobody's fault, walked ourselves into one of these awkward corners. It happens sometimes when you're doing cooperative storytelling games. It's just part of the territory. It's like the cost of doing business. If you can, you know, take that concept and apply it to this. I know it's not quite exactly the same, the right idea, but I think you can transfer it. Like, we went our separate ways. Like, he disowned me and stuff. But like, he tried to train me to be an attorney for a while.
So what?
So we're trying to like build some of Guy's backstory here, but it feels kind of awkward and forced when we're in the middle of this frustrating situation. It almost feels even worse to have Guy be like, here, let me do some exposition on my past and show you how I'm gonna solve your problems when you're being really frustrated about everything. Like, ugh, God.
What's that going to do for us now?
I don't know, but like, you know, maybe I can like talk to them or something.
I look at Kellen, like, not convinced.
Come on, Kellen, like, he knows, he can see the, like, you know, you're looking to Kellen for approval, and he looks to Kellen with semi-pleading eyes and goes, come on, Kellen, like, you know me, like, when there's something I care about, I give it everything I got, and I think I can get Ransom out.
Helen kind of looks, he looks a little melty. And he's like, yeah, I believe him.
You do? I mean, yeah, of course you do.
He doesn't barely have any experience. And then we're back at square one. We have to wait for a trial again.
No, I can get him. So let's actually listen to Guy's dialogue again, because there are some things in there that are worth pointing out.
Convinced.
Come on, Kellen, like, he knows, he can see the, like, you know, you're looking to Kellen for approval, and he looks to Kellen with semi-pleading eyes and goes, come on, Kellen, like, you know me, like, when there's something I care about, I give it everything I got, and I think I can get Ransom out. Now that line has a little bit of a double meaning, which I'm sure you guys can pick up on. This is not just about getting Ransom out of jail. This is about his music and his art and how he gives it, he commits fully to the act. He's appealing to Kellen on an artist's level by saying, when I try something, I give it everything I got. He's saying, trust my art, really.
Kellen kind of looks
See, there's a little bit of a smile. She gets it. She realizes what's going on and is like, okay, maybe this isn't such a worthless interaction after all.
he looks a little melty. And he's like, yeah, I believe him.
Yeah, she gets it. You do? I mean, yeah, of course you do.
He doesn't barely
Guy doesn't quite even believe that Kellen understands it, but
have any experience. And then we're back at square one. We have to wait for a trial again.
no, I can get him. I can get him. But like, where's Olivia taking Liam? Like,
Olivia's taking Liam because we're going to go take him to trade for Ransom.
that'll work. Okay. Well, if that doesn't work, I kind of should have said that's not going to work. There's no reason Guy would know that that's not going to work, but I should be putting a stop to their ridiculous plans. I don't know how to do it, which is why I don't try to do it, but I wish I had figured out a way to, put that one out a little bit more. That'll work. Okay. Well, if that doesn't work, he seems like kind of sad, like his plan is now plan B. Okay. If that doesn't work, then I can... my dad tried to train me for years, and I wouldn't listen, I wouldn't pay attention. We're trying to do a little bit more exposition on his part. I really think we should have just ended the scene, gone to break, and done this exposition on the other side. But that's, hindsight's 20/20. But I can give it a shot. We're trying to show him as an artist who grew up in a household that wouldn't appreciate his art and kind of tried to force him down a different path. We're trying to show his character and make sense of why he is the person that he is. Him being the son of an attorney isn't just a plot device to get Ransom out of jail. It's actually kind of core to his character, even though we only came up with the idea of him being an attorney in between the last 2 episodes. It works beautifully to flesh out his character too. Should we go help out Olivia?
I guess, why not? And I'm just like...
He looks kind of disappointed or maybe distraught at this. And he looks to Kellen for advice, for leadership.
Look, man, this is Kess's life, right? Excuse me. I just feel like whatever she wants to do right now, I 100% support that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if you think you can, but I mean, you haven't exactly been super great to me lately, so it's not like, this is my future. My one day maybe.
Is she trying to see out underneath the edge of her wig? Is that what she's doing when she's looking like that?
Trust for you.
He takes a step forward to you and puts one hand on either side on each of your shoulders and looks directly into your eyes and says, Kess, you can trust me. 100%. I mean, I might fail, but you can trust me. Only Ransom laughed at that joke. I was bummed that one didn't hit.
Then.
Okay.
And I rush out the door.
All right. Everyone, including Kalia and Neeson, I think, chases after Olivia and Liam. Olivia, your spell wears off pretty quickly. It has a 1 minute duration.
Really? Let me check.
Yeah.
I thought it lasted longer.
1 round.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's 10 minutes, no?
1 round, not 1 turn.
Crap.
So after
Yeah. You guys are out of the bar, and then Liam kind of stops and goes, wait a minute, where are we going?
Oh.
It's good that we cleared up this. Your spell only lasts for 1 minute before we went to a break. It might have been nice to go to a break before we went on about Guy's blah, 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 his backstory. We probably should have just cut to this, but it's important that we clear up her spell isn't working before we go to break. We don't want to leave anyone dangling or hanging or with false impressions. It's really nice to like kind of clear the plate before you go to a break and kind of wrap up as many loose ends as possible. And so that way when you have a break and you come back, it's a little bit more like there's a clean plate.
Oh, well, I just said to follow me out of the bar so that we wouldn't get into the bar fight. Like things. Were
Oh,
getting
cool. Well,
there.
now that we're outside, like, what now?
Well, usually I would have suggested that we go back in the bar, but you know, right now the bar's kind of occupied.
Maybe they're flirting? I don't even know.
Wait for everything to chill down and then can go back once people are chill.
I think everyone then meets up outside the bar
Yeah.
somewhere a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Um,
everybody, quiet down. Let's just, have a beer. I'll take some beers outside. I'm pretty sure it's okay in a Cuba. We
Totally
can
cool.
talk it out calmly, right? We're family,
Yeah.
kind of.
So Guy speaks up quickly, and he says to Olivia, like, Olivia, are you gonna trade Liam for ransom?
Wait. We just wanted him to at least know what's going on. How about you guys tell him? Guessing Callan? No. Or not.
Tell me what?
So, as you know, there were bounty hunters after you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take the place for your son, pretty much.
Okay, fine. I'll explain.
Love the angry cast.
Bounty hunters after you. And then they mistakenly thought that Ransom was you for a second, apparently. And guards. Yeah, there were guards also involved that tried to stop the conflict because Ransom was fighting them off. And then they thought somehow that you were him. And then the bounty hunters are now in prison, which is a good news. And Ransom as well, which is a bad news, because
Well-
while fighting them off, someone may have died,
Well, this is a classic condition of mistaken identity. They're pretty soon gonna find out that I'm not Ransom and Ransom's not me, and then he'll be free.
No, because...
Good job, Ransom. Being bait, distracting them, letting your pops get away, and then you'll be set free anyway. That's
I
my
love at
boy.
Tess during all of
Because
this.
there was murder while he was defending himself. So now he's in
Ooh,
prison.
Ransom
What did you
killed
say?
someone?
While trying to defend you, yeah. Well, himself as well, because like the bounty hunters were attacking him, to be fair.
What did you say, Cullen?
I kind of like look to Kess aside and I'm like, are you like so over this talking like I am? Okay, I'm done with this. I pull my dagger and I'm like, Liam, we're going now to the jail.
The players are clearly frustrated. They're done with the bullshit. They just want to solve the problem and move on. I get their frustration. Oh, I've been there as a player and a DM. Well then. So let's just roll with it. I guess you got your bounty. Yep.
We
I don't know
just
what you're
want
talking about.
Ransom back.
Think threatening his father is a good way to win him back?
I don't think you're a very good influence in his life right now, if
So go throw him in jail?
you want to be honest. Or
It's not an offense.
our mothers.
It's not any of your business.
And I look at my mother.
But this is great because the players are really embracing their characters and they're really getting into their characters' point of view, which are flawed points of view. I really appreciate one of the reasons I love Devotion is because the players get into their character's headspace and their character's headspace isn't some sort of perfect first order optimized way of solving all their encounters and their problems and blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh my God, you're sleeping with my mom, you're a terrible influence on her, and you're a terrible influence on my boyfriend. And they're getting into these like really twisted headspaces. It's fantastic. They do such a good job. I love my players.
And then back.
Shakes her head. I'll be waiting in the bar. Sort your problems out. We just want to keep as few NPCs around as possible. Bare minimum NPCs. So we have the mom walk away. It might make more sense for her to actually hang out with them lore-wise, but I don't want to deal with that many NPCs just hanging out. We also have Ransom's brother not around for this scene too. He just never came outside, I guess? She waits. And you guys take Liam to prison. And why don't we go to break?
Oh, okay.
And when we come back from break, we will see how it goes down. You guys on the other side. All right. That is part 1. Next up is, of course, part 2. Part 2 is only 33 minutes long, but we're going to take a short break in between these two parts ourselves. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with some more director's commentary on Miss Click's D&D Devotion, Chapter 1, Episode 27, Part 2.